Hello there everybody and welcome back to Costume Quest. I went ahead off screen and I took care of a few of the crow enemies that are wandering around in the maze just to make life a little bit easier and so you guys don't have to see so many repeat battles. We'll go and find the other grubbins and get the couple pieces of our costume in a minute, but there's a little bit of backtracking that I need to do. There was one quest in particular that I had left on purpose, and I want to go and fulfill that now because I should be able to do so. And it was the last kid that I have to trade cards with. I knew that I didn't have the cards, so that was part of the reason that I wanted to fight some of the enemies. I'm also going to take a look at Sadie's stand as well because we should be able to buy some more stamps. And I also realized, in my haste, that I forgot one of the hide-and-seek children. So we'll talk to this kid first. He's the guy that wanted to trade a card with us. He was looking for the street shoes card. And of course we have a double of that, and so he's going to give us his card, which actually is our last card. So if you get all of your creepy treat card collection filled out, it will actually give you a unique costume. And as you can see here, there are many ones that we actually have doubles or triples of. So that's why it's kind of important to fight all the enemies in the game, because you never know what you're going to get. And you may get that costume really early or really late. In my practice file, I got that costume so late that there were no enemies left for me to fight. And so I didn't actually get to test it out, which was quite disappointing, I have to say. So you can see here, this is the black cat costume. And we're definitely going to have to try this out in battle because, like I said, I didn't have the chance last time I played. And that is pretty much our last costume. We do have to finish the Grubbin's costume as well, but we're not able to actually use that in battle. And the hiding child is actually just right down here, south of the rock where we picked up our costumes from the crows. So I completely missed him. He should have been our first child. So that is totally my fault, but that's going to nudge us a little bit closer towards level 10. We get 500 experience for that. We get our final bucket of candy, and that means that we have completed 100% of all the side quests in the game. So pat yourselves on the back if you've been following along. We're nearly level 10, and we're missing a few battle stamps, but aside from that, we are pretty much finished with all the side stuff in the game. So if we check out Sadie's stand here, you can see that we have a couple of really great options. I'm definitely going to take the vegetarian witch's brew. That's going to actually probably come in handy for the final boss. And I'm also going to take the headless banshee stamp as well. The only one that we are missing is the bowl of bloodshot eyeballs. I probably won't use it, but I'll come back and grab it just for completion's sake, but we need some more candy in order to grab that. So now it's back to the maze. I've left a couple of crows deliberately so we can try out the cat costume. And I think both of the grubbins are in the northern section of the maze. You can see there's one over here, and then there's another guy over here. So let's try this section of the maze first. I should be able to get to that grubbin from here. Or maybe not. It's honestly been a very long time between recordings. probably like a month since I've actually picked this up and tried to play it, so... Luckily, it's not too difficult to find our way through the maze. We'll be able to find a grub in one way or another. I'm never going to eat another piece of corn again. Fortunately for me, there's no corn in Repugia. We got ourselves some dirty socks. Oh boy. Alright, well that was the guy that I wanted to find. Should be able to find the other fella here on this side of the maze. There's a couple of crows up there that I can fight. There's actually quite a few in this section of the maze. I must have left these crows. So I think this is a really good time for me to try out this cat's costume and just see what it's all about, because I have no idea. And then at the very least, I can know for sure that I showed you guys all of the costumes. It looks awesome. You can't go wrong with a cat costume. It looked like it shot like laser beams from its eyes, which is interesting. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see the special ability since there's only 2 enemies, but we will give it a try. Putting up that shield actually maybe saved us a little bit. Fortunately, his shield is not as strong as ours. When the knight puts up a shield, it lasts quite a while. Way more than 1 turn, that's for sure. And with that, we also get our final level. So the rest of these crows are completely optional. There's not really much point in fighting them. I will be able to get more candy to buy my final battle stamp. But aside from that, I'm not going to be getting any additional experience. So here's a fight with 3 enemies. We might be able to see the special ability here. I'm most likely not going to be using this costume for the final boss, so I want to try and show this off if I can. Because we are very, very close to finishing the game at this point. And because I've already done all the backtracking, that makes it that much easier. Yeah, the cat definitely shoots lasers from its eyes, which is pretty neat. Alright, so here we go. This is the cat's Meow. This is a special ability. Let's give it a try. So it looks like it makes the enemies flee. I'm not sure if that works every single time, and unfortunately there's not really any enemies left for me to test that out, so I cannot say for certain. But I enjoyed our little joyride that we had with the cat there. And I may have to fight this last crow just to be able to get enough candy to buy Sadie's final battle stamp, so I'll probably hit him when he turns his back. But I'll be sure to cut that battle out, just because we've seen enough fighting by now. They're not going to show us anything new, and of course this guy's not going to cooperate with me. There may be a crow or 2 that I've missed, but I think I've been pretty thorough in fighting mostly, if not every single enemy in the game at this point. So I'm short just a few pieces of candy. I do believe that the last stamp was about 625 pieces of candy, so I can probably get that just through the environment. if I'm not able to run into another enemy. Here's our last grub in here. I was going crazy in here. Thanks for saving me. Here, take this. And there we are, our last piece of material. Dude, chill. It's just me in a costume, remember? How did you forget? You literally saw me change into it. Whoa, weird. You kind of look like my mom now. That's disconcerting. I'm gonna go ahead and just hit a couple of these pumpkins. I know they're only worth 1 or 2 pieces of candy, but if we only need a few pieces, it kind of adds up fast. Once you have the grubbin costume, you can go ahead and talk to the gatekeeper. And you will be able to come back here too, by the way, if there's anything you missed in the maze and you want to come back. But for now, we can go ahead and talk to the crow gatekeeper here. Hi, I captured those stupid kids. I'm going to take them to Dorsilla now. Wow, you did it. Wait a second. Something's not right about you. Why do you sound so funny? Because I'm such a dumb monster that sometimes I don't really know how to work my voice that well. Oh, right. Okay, come on in. So, fortunately, they are not the brightest. And, fun fact, if you want to, you can now take off your costume and then fight the gatekeeper. He'll be upset that he was tricked, and he will fight you. So if you need a couple more pieces of candy or you need some more experience, you can go ahead and pick a fight with him. But otherwise, you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm going to come in here and get some of this juicy candy that's just laying around, begging for me to take it. That should absolutely be perfect. That should be exactly what I need to be able to buy my last stamp. I just got to find my way through the bottom part of this maze here. And we'll be well on our way to the end of the game. And just as we get to the end of the maze here, we meet up with Metzel again, who is still in his dump truck, crane, whatever it is you want to call that thing. I didn't give any warning just because this guy is not a threat. It's sort of like when we fought our first boss for a second time. There's really nothing different here. He's our level, he's only got about 1,000 health, and it's really nothing that we can't handle. Basically just roadblocks for us to get to Dorsilla. Should be able to take him out in 3 turns. We're just short a little bit of manpower to take him out in 2. But you can see he has barely touched us. He's absolutely no threat whatsoever. And that will also give you a little bit of extra experience and some candy as well if you need it. And he doesn't even stop to say anything, he just up and disappears. So in this area here we have the warp areas, if you'd like to use them to go back to any previous areas. And that is sort of the point of no return here. You can walk all the way back into town if you want to. This area is not closed off to you in any way, shape, or form. Fortunately, there's nothing that blocks you from traveling. So you can go all the way back to the suburbs, our first level. You can go back to the mall. Unfortunately, the warp point for this entire area is all the way here at the back of the maze. So if you missed anything in this level, you're gonna have to just walk back through. I'm going to quickly take the warp to the mall here, because this is kind of our quickest way to get to one of Sadie's stands. And I'm going to buy her last stamp, which was 625. We still have 197 pieces of candy left. And the very last stamp is going to come from a boss battle. So if you've got to this point in the game and you're only missing one stamp, then don't fret, you didn't miss it. We just haven't gotten it yet. And that's one more thing off of our list. So that's that. I've really got nothing else that I want to do now. It's just final boss time. So I'm going to go back to the Fall Valley. I am going to stop it here. I'm going to make a couple of preparations for the final boss battles. So I'm completely 100% ready to go. We've completed everything. We've got all our battle stamps. We have reached max level. We got our max candy pail. We've completed every single one of the quests in the game. We've gotten all of the costumes. You can see them all here, beautifully laid out for us, and we got all our creepy treat cards. So that is it. The only thing now is to kick Dorsilla's butt. So join me next time, guys, as we face the final hurdles to finishing this game. Hope you're all ready and as excited as I am. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.